Why F1 needs to scrap penalty points. F1 penalty points. Are you a fan? And I'm talking about you listening or you watching. Are you a fan? Yes or no? We did a poll, a YouTube community poll. 10% said they like the penalty point system. 81% said it's okay but needs tweaking. And only 9% of you said no, get rid of it. Tommy, I feel like, you're the passion man for this particular topic, so I'll let you start. What do you think of it?
Get rid of it. The end.
You are the 9%.
I'm the 9%. I don't think it's working. I don't think it has worked. I think the Gasly incident is something that I don't believe they would ever ban someone for the bad publicity. And I just don't think it works. I think it's far too harsh. People would argue that you don't get particularly great Formula One drivers nowadays because of money and stuff, but I think the talent pool is actually better from the older days when you got people in that could literally pay their way into a crap team like a Minardi or whatever, be 15 seconds off the pace and be a danger to everyone else. That's why they have the 107% rule. 107% rule is still in force, but it rarely gets to be forced.
Why don't you explain
no one's that slow.
What that is to those that don't know what the 107% rule is, Tommy? Even I struggle to say that.
Yeah, so you have to be in 107% of the pole time with your qualifying time. Now, in the 90s, and when that rule was a bit more enforced, they had the power to go, no, your car is 15 seconds a lap slower than everyone else, and you're going to be dangerous.
Go home.
Whereas now that's never the case. So they don't really need to enforce it. But if they did want to enforce it, they could just do it on a case-by-case basis, not with this whole penalty points thing. And then as soon as someone gets close to getting banned, they're now sort of going, oh, should we delete Gasly's points? Is it fair? Maybe we should change it. And it's just silly to me. I just think it's completely pointless and they should get rid of it.
I don't feel as strongly about just completely and utterly binning it off. They have, of course, tweaked it already going into this season, have they not? With and some of the more minor incidents now not accruing penalty points, and it's more to do with actual wheel-to-wheel racing and those kind of moments giving you penalty points, which makes a lot more sense than cutting a pit entry line or something, and because that's the kind of stuff they've taken away, as far as I'm aware. Tommy. Yeah.
This is the thing for me, right? Pierre Gasly is on a lot of penalty points. He's on 10. In my opinion, is very lucky to not get any more. But it just shows that the drivers aren't going to drive any differently just because they're on 10 penalty points. And you could argue, well, they should do, and if they don't, they get a race ban. But should you get a ban for just mistakes? And then why haven't they deleted all the penalty points? Because we could have quite easily, theoretically, you could have seen someone banned from Formula One for cutting the pit lane line 6 or 7 times and then maybe had a big crash and they'd got enough penalty points to be banned. That's not right. Like, it's just stupid.
Yeah, and now they've tweaked it, but they've still kept everyone's penalty points, which makes no sense.
I don't really like it, I think, especially because then you get into silly situations where you can do something really stupid, then do it 5 years later, and it doesn't matter because your penalty points are wiped and stuff like that. So I just think they just need to look at incidents that are worthy of bans and harsher penalties and just judge it accordingly.
Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport. Do you really need penalty points to monitor a driver's behaviour?
And if they're not good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be an F1.
It's a difficult topic. It really is.
But basically, someone that's a danger to the rest of the field, and they could just go, no, you shouldn't be racing.
But then does that put too much power in the people that are deciding that there and then, rather than having an overarching system where stewards and things can change and whatever? Having that penalty point system is an easier way to understand it than, oh, why is this driver not driving today? Oh, he got banned.
I mean, it'd be the same as going, why did they get banned? Oh, well, they cut the pit lane 3 times.
Yeah, but they don't do that anymore. They've changed that. Don't have a go at them. They've changed it. They have the points, which is very silly, but they don't have it anymore. Let's get to some questions, because I feel like we will and ah over this for about 4 hours. Lumi_Essence. What's the point of the penalty system if they're not giving Gasly a race ban? His incident was super similar to Seb's. I imagine that is Seb Canada going over the grass and then blocking Hamilton. So he should have gotten a penalty by that logic. Well, I mean, it was similar to Seb's in Canada in the fact that he blocked someone, but it wasn't similar in the fact that he also put someone in the wall, did Gasly, his own teammate. All Seb did was just cut the corner and was a little bit cheeky on the racing line. So yes, in every way, this was a penalty, but we have to take into account there are other external factors, i.e. their teammates. There's ways in which you can talk to the stewards and whatnot when discussing these penalties, when it's between the same party. It always seems that way in Formula One, that there's a more lenient penalty, if anything, when the same two drivers from the same team are involved. I don't think Gasly escapes a penalty if that's anyone else. I think the FIA are backed into a corner and have to give him a penalty if it's anyone else but Ocon.
Yeah, and also, is Pierre Gasly a reckless enough Formula One driver that he deserves to sit on the sidelines? Absolutely not. Pierre Gasly is not an extremely dangerous driver where he needs to be banned from a race. He's just had a few incidents that have totaled up. That does show that maybe it's too harsh.
I feel like there are pros and cons to this situation. The more I think about it, I go, oh, maybe it should be like that. And then you go, well, actually, maybe we should just get rid of it altogether. And as I mentioned earlier, I just don't think it's one of these ones where it's straight up. And 90% of people that voted either said it's okay or they like it. Okay, Tommy, let's meet in the middle. What could they tweak in order to make it better? Not full deletion. What are we tweaking to make it better?
Maybe it needs to be a case where you have 3 strikes, and if you do 3 really dangerous incidents in a certain time window, or maybe even, if it's, but then, how do you argue that someone's learned and enough time's gone past it? It's just one of those things where you do have a dangerous incident. It's a tough call.
And how do you measure what really dangerous is, what just dangerous is, what just racing is? Because Formula One has a natural element of danger anyway.
So that goes back to my point.
Delete it.
Of it's a case-by-case basis that they need to decide whether is that something really dangerous. For me, if I think of the dangerous incidents that have happened over the years, I'm thinking of like Maldonado driving into Hamilton on purpose at Spa that year, where you're using your car as a weapon. And
that should have been instant ban, gone, done.
Yeah. Things like that are really bad driving standards that need to be looked at. Big crash that you've done something really stupid should be looked at, and you should get a penalty for it. The penalty here is a grid drop for the next race, 10 places, 5 places, whatever. Banning a driver needs to be something really severe. And the fact is that I don't think anyone in Formula One will ever be bad enough that they deserve a race ban.
It's interesting. I think as we continue to talk about this, I at least formulate more of an opinion, because I think I was more on the fence about it. You obviously clearly deletion. And penalties just in general, not penalty points, penalties are enough of a deterrent for drivers to not drive like a complete imbecile, that the penalty point system in effect is really just null and void, because it is only there to make sure driving standards are good, but so are penalties. So why are we adding penalty points to it that don't really mean anything to the driver up until a ban? I'm siding slightly more towards you now, Tommy. You'll be pleased to know.
My ranting has got...
But no, I mean, you were the one that felt so strongly about this. I was happy to talk about it. And the more and more you speak about it, the more you go, well, who is this trying to stop? Who are we trying to ban here? Gasly is not, as you say, one of those drivers that has had 3 massive incidents. We've gone, wow, we're not sure about this guy. He could be a danger. He has picked up things, odd moments. And also as well, if the FIA start genuinely banning drivers, I think that in itself will be a bit of a negative, a bit of a pullback for Formula One and for the drivers, because they just won't drive as hard.
And that's the most ridiculous thing is, I think it would be stupid to ban Gasly, but also I think they should have banned Gasly if they're the rules, because that's what they enforce. And he's done something worthy of more penalty points according to their rules, so he should be banned. I'm in a weird situation now where I'm like, well, according to their rules, yes, he should be banned, but I guess the thing is here, I don't agree with their rules.
one final question from LeBruce. So let's say we do have penalty points staying. Their question, we've seen penalty points given out for minor moments in the past. What do you think points should be given for? To be fair, it's not probably far away from what they've already got at the moment. So if we are thinking about penalty points staying, it's got to be for dangerous driving, things in qualifying, for example, where there's evidence that the driver's been told that the car behind is on a fast lap, they're on a slow lap. And if that causes a really dangerous incident, because I think qualifying is actually one of the points where you can have a really quite horrifying crash if both drivers aren't driving to their full potential. I think that's one moment. I think obviously crashing into another car and it being definitely their fault. But as we've sort of discussed in this whole thing, is it necessary?
Yeah, I guess I have to answer this question as if penalty points are a thing. So yeah, I guess I'd say a major moment.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, that was it. Okay, we stopped it so that Frank doesn't interrupt anymore. Okay, well, that is our opinions on penalty points. Let us know in the comments. Let us know on social media what you think with regards to this topic. Should it be deleted? Should it be tweaked? Or should it stay just how it is? Okay, take care. Bye.
Frank's final thoughts are...